Williams, the Dark Waters, and I bees back out here in these streets. Listen, we starting Monday morning. This weekend's news was interesting. Friday, we saw the rumblings between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, and now it breaks out over the weekend. Which those kind of things they're gonna break over the weekend because they don't want the mainstream people, everybody to see it. They just don't understand the old rules don't apply in the media. So you can't hide nothing on the weekend because you got too many people who are gonna force a narrative during the week. So clearly, I was saying that there was civil war in the Democratic Party, and clearly there's a war between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Now I saw something, and I want to do a video on it, but I'm gonna just talk about it real quick. What's up, Roberta? I saw something. I want to do a video on it, but I'm gonna talk about it real quick. Um, Jim Carville came out this weekend. And for y'all don't know, Jim Carville is the don of all political consultants. And Jim Carville came out and tried to lay a narrative that Donald Trump was going to put black men in slavery. I don't know if y'all saw it this weekend. I'm going to show it to you. Donald Trump was holding a Nazi rally in New York, and that if anybody black voted for him, he was going to take him out because he a Nazi. And it's so crazy to me that this Nazi comparison keeps happening. No evidence, no proof. But who told them that anybody believes it? Like, if you watch the news interview, he says it, then he smiles. And while he's saying it, the lady's there, Jen Psaki, who was if I'm not mistaken, Jim was the original she had the original place of that curly haired girl that's like the press secretary. Because it was Jen Psaki, then the curly haired girl came in. And so Jen is just sitting there looking at him with her mouth like this as he's saying it. Like, what the hell? Like, you really going there? I told y'all they was going to roll Obama out early last week when they started saying Obama was coming out. And I was like, look, we about to find out how much stroke Obama still has with the black community. And I knew he wouldn't have any stroke with the black community because the only thing Obama did was pass homosexual marriage or gay marriage. And people had enough time to sit back and look at their lives since Obama and be shaken out of it. Then he came out and insulted black men. So here's who comes next. Bill Clinton gonna come next. When Bill Clinton come, Bill Clinton gonna be accused of all the sexual molestation and all the rest of the stuff. Bill Clinton didn't work for Hillary. Bill Clinton not gonna work for Kamala. Hillary didn't work for Kamala. Obama not gonna work for Kamala. The last one they gonna roll out is gonna be Michelle. And Michelle gonna hurt them unlike you ever seen anybody get hurt before, because she gonna come out with black woman attitude, telling black men what to do, and it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a huge problem. Now, Obama is the divider in chief, and what you've seen he's done in a matter of 72 hours is he's caused this war between black men, liberal and conservative black men, where liberal black men are coming out saying, I can't believe you voting for this. And conservative black men say, hey, screw you. I'm not going to use the middle finger. I'm going to use this finger. They're saying, screw you. You a slave to the Democratic Party. So Obama failed. Then the most interesting thing was Joe came out this weekend and said, well, if Iran keeps trying to assassinate Donald Trump, we're going to go to war. That's the signal that they're going to try and kill him again. He goes to California. They cap somebody with a gun at the rally. Now, I was getting comments this weekend where people saying, well, the guy at the rally was a Trump supporter, and you don't know what you're talking about. I want to be clear with you. No Trump supporter within their right mind is going to go to a Trump rally with a shotgun, ammunition, and anything else under the circumstances of what's going on. You ain't go a shotgun, not a handgun, not a Glock, a shotgun. Nobody gonna do that. Nobody within their right mind. So then he was let out on $5,000 bail, which shouldn't have been let out with, period. Irregardless. Then people was like, oh, they had pictures with him next to Don Jr. Oh, that's very interesting. How did that man get next to Don Jr.? We don't know. But the point I'm making to you is when you look at this news and you start to see the narrative they're laying, it's plain and simple. I mean, it's obvious what they're doing. It's obvious. They tried to say that the dude on the roof that shot down Trump was a Trump supporter. He wasn't. Point blank, period. Then they roll out the dude that shot him, tried to take a shot at him at the golf course. He was a CIA asset. In between that and now, they've busted a Taliban or ISIS guy that was on the CIA payroll that was in America that was trying to launch a terror attack on election polls during election day. And then when Mayorkas and everybody's asked about it, how did this guy get in the country? They don't have nothing to say. So we get into that stage where violence is going to be seen, where blood is going to be shed. I'm telling you, we get into that phase. The only way we make it through that phase when it doesn't happen is if actually there are people within the system that do their jobs, because they know where all these terrorists are. They know, they'll sit there and tell you they don't know about the Trade Aragua and the gangs and this and that. They may not know about them. But the truth of the matter is, with the technology they have, they should know where everybody is. The only way you don't know where somebody is if you decide to ignore that person's location for your own nefarious deeds. Can y'all hit the like button, man? It's 175 and 48 people in here. That's a part of the reason why YouTube don't push me, is because y'all be playing with me on the like button, dog. But it is what it is. Whatever. Screw it. So we find ourselves in a peculiar situation going into the election. We got about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks left. And I would say this is probably the most dangerous 2.5, 3 weeks in American history right now. I mean, it really, really is. In the meantime, the Democratic Party is struggling with the fact that Joe Biden is literally undermining Kamala Harris's campaign. And I don't blame the dude. I mean, quite frankly, I don't blame him at all. They played him. I don't like him, but they played him. You know, they bullied him. And what nobody seems to understand is the only leverage they have over him is Hunter and what was going on with Hunter. That's it. So you know it's got to be them dangling Hunter. You know Hunter hasn't been in the news. They took Hunter to court, and then it backed off of it. Remember, it was like Hunter, we was like, damn, Hunter should have got some real time for what he did. Nope. They took him in there, backed off. Pressed on him. Okay, Joe, this is what we'll do your son. And then backed off, leaving the door open for them to go back and hit him again if they want to. So, and we've seen that they don't have a problem putting together a case, any kind of case. You see what they did to Trump, so don't think that they won't do that to Biden's son. So we know the pressure point for the Biden family is Hunter. And so that's what they've been dangling over his head, and him and his wife are fighting back. You know what I'm saying? They're fighting back in their own little ways, taking jabs at her, doing little stuff to her. That's like over the weekend, I want to say he gave $600 million towards hurricane relief. And Kamala came out and attacked the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Joe came out and said Ron did a good job. So he's undermining her, which is great. I'm telling you, it's fantastic. It's phenomenal. Gretchen Whitmer comes out and mocks the Eucharist or giving communion, and then has to come back and apologize. It's all kind of stuff falling apart all around them. And I'll tell you, the Democratic Party has never seen this type of, they've never had this level of destruction laid upon them. Like, it's like they're getting hammered on all sides, on all angles, and they've never experienced this. And you can see the panic. I mean, when you turn on the news and turn on to the pundits, you can literally see the panic. That's like the young black lady who came out and defended black men against what Obama said, had to retract, and she came back and started trying to fix it. Somebody told her, you can get your black ass on TV and you're going to say something different than what you said, or you're going to lose your job. So she tried to fix it, but she told the truth. And no matter how they try and cover up the truth, it is what it is. Black men are saying, nah, bro, y'all don't get to tell us to vote for this broad. We just not doing it. And it's an overwhelming number of them. So much so that Warnock came out and said, well, black men are not going to vote for Trump like they're saying. And so now they're coming out trying to say it, trying to speak it into existence. Remember, the media is pure witchcraft and manipulation. So that's what you saw Obama come out and do, and try and use witchcraft or manipulation on people and come in and tell people, well, the numbers are down, brothers are doing this. And their manipulation, their witchcraft is not working anymore. Not at the rate it was working. And they need a huge amount of black votes in order to win. I mean, if they lose 20%, 30% of black male vote, they lose. There's no winning an election for them, period. Somebody says it's word magic. That's exactly what it is. And so they're struggling. They're faltering on every angle. And I'm interested in seeing how they play this week. The charge was set by Carville to go back to the Nazi narrative, which lets you know who came up with the very first Nazi. Remember the torches? Remember the torches and the tiki torches? The very first Nazi narrative? Now you know who created that narrative. It was Carville's idea to do the tiki torches. All you got to do is just see them for who they are and what they do. Because he's the one that nobody else came out with this. I mean, hardcore. Trump is holding a Nazi rally in New York, in Madison Square Garden. And so expect to see like the Patriot Front come out there where they're going to be pulling up these vans and they're going to have people getting out of the back of the U-Hauls with their little Nazi stuff on and all the rest of this stuff. It's the perfect place for them to pull it off. It's New York. It's a perfect place for them to pull it off and have, because it's a stronghold of theirs. The perfect place for them to pull it off and make this gigantic scene to make it seem like it's racist. And what hurt them was Trump went to California, had 100,000 people at his rally in California, which is like, man, that's one of their super blue wall states. And they said, hold on, man. Dude had 100,000 people in California. Like, that's bad for them. I mean, that's terrible for them. And I'll say this about New York. New Yorkers always have respected Donald Trump until they turned him into the bad guy. But New Yorkers, under the current pressure that they're under with illegal immigration at the heights that it is, them spending millions of dollars. If I'm not mistaken, Eric Adams asked for $2.3 billion to house illegals. Oh no, New York is ready to say, screw y'all Democrats completely and totally forever. Think about it like this. All the major corporations that said, nah, we leaving New York and we going to the South because of the political climate and the business climate. The Big Apple has shrunken because of what Democratic policies did. So now he goes, and it's a stronghold. It's like going to, you remember on Lord of the Rings? They had the giant eyeball that was in the mountain and was like we phasing it and looking around. It's like going, I think that was called Mordor. That's like going to Mordor, kicking the gate in and walking in there and climbing right next to the eyeball and smacking the shit out the eye is what he's doing in New York. That's what he's doing. Because that's their stronghold. I personally think it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen from a political standpoint. I mean, because that's what it is. He going straight to the belly of the beast and saying, hey, I'm going to smack your teeth out your mouth right here in your hometown. And they going to lose their mind because that's their stronghold. That's their stronghold. And he's done that. He's went to every one of their strongholds. Arizona, boom. California, boom. Every one of their strongholds. And the craziest thing to me about the Democratic Party is this. If you half-ass pretended not to be communist and half-ass did what you were supposed to do, you would have been all right. But you can't do nothing. You got to go full commie. And then expect everybody to accept the fact that you're going full-blown communist, letting prisoners out of jail, letting illegals into the nation that are ex-prisoners, letting gangs run the street, letting criminals run the street, full-on communists. And then to expect that people won't see it, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Somebody said he should go to Chicago Southside. Yeah, he should go to Chicago Southside. I think he'll have a whole bunch of people there as well. So this week is going to be very interesting. In fact, these 2 weeks are going to be very interesting. I expect another assassination attempt within the next 2 weeks. I saw where he requested military protection, and Joe Biden them denied him that military protection, because we're getting down to the wire. And I know that's a significant concern, because Melania came out, and Melania was saying, you know, you got to be careful when dealing with these people. You got to be leery when dealing with them. And then he came out and he said, we have an enemy within. When he started talking about the enemy within, now he's talking about the people that he's at war with. And he's talking directly to them. And that's how you know it's escalated to the point to where when his wife calls him out, he calls him out. We had a very critical, pivotal point. Period. Point blank. Hurricane wise, I was looking at Weatherman Plus. If you want to watch the news, screw all the rest of the people. Go to Weatherman Plus. Go to Mark. Type it in. Weatherman Plus. Weatherman Plus. I like Mark. Mark is a brother in the faith, Christian brother. Weatherman Plus. Weatherman Plus. They tried to send 2 more hurricanes, and the Lord sent down a cold front to block those hurricanes. Thank you, Jesus. And so now they're just rolling on through. And I noticed something. There has to be Harper rays in that. If this is the Gulf Coast, right here, and let's say my finger is Houston, and you trace back down, coming down into Mexico where it hooks right here. I forgot what that little hook right there. There's got to be Harper tenor arrays right in that area that strengthen these storms and help direct them till they get to the arrays that are all throughout the coast. Because I've shown you guys all the arrays lighting up on the coast, radiating the hell out of everybody. I mean, literally shooting sparks and magnetic waves all over the damn place. It has to be something in that area. And it makes sense why all these hurricanes are trying to get to that point. And then they turn around and they come back, or why stuff is coming across the peninsula to that point, and then boof, it's hit, it charges up, and then it's off to the races. So that cold front pushing down, hopefully none of them will get to that area. If they get to that area, it's going to turn around and do it again. Of course, everybody's got weather modification tech. Yeah, the Yucatan. Thank you. That's what it's called, the Yucatan. Yeah, everybody has weather modification technology. There's a UN treaty on weather modification, which is crazy that Joe would even come out and say there's no weather modification when there's a UN treaty on weather modification. But that's what they do. They lie. They lie. Lying is their native tongue. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. That's the one thing about evil people, bro. They lie like you and I order a sandwich at Subway, or like we order a drink at a bar. That's how they lie. That's just what they do. And so the good news is it doesn't look like anything is going to happen there as this cold front comes down and combats it. But we'll see, because they can yank back up real quick and open a doorway for something to happen. There was one more thing that I saw. Now I decided I'm going to make my videos longer, significantly longer, to cover more issues in one block, especially over the next 3 weeks, because it's the news is accelerating so fast that you can't even, like, the stuff I recorded Saturday is no good today. There was stuff that was supposed to drop yesterday that got confused in the system. It's no good. I mean, it's changing from hour to hour to hour to hour. So it's almost, news is becoming irrelevant over a 24-hour news cycle, which is insane. I mean, it truly is insane. And that just goes to show you how there's this fight for to contain the narrative and to control the narratives in the news all day long. It used to be that somebody would have a narrative and they'll stay on it. Remember, like Russia? They held Russia for about 6 months. And they were able to hold that narrative for 6 months. Trump is a Russian agent. Alex Jones is a Russian agent. Everybody's a damn Russian agent. I'm trying to think about the guy who was Nixon's bag man. They put him in prison because he was supposed to be a Russian agent. But everybody was a damn Russian agent. And they held that narrative and they kept pushing. And the pushback there was no way to push back at it. Roger Stone, thank you. Roger Stone's Russian agent. To the point to where they went and swatted his house and went in his house at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And did the walk of shame with Roger Stone on the news. And remember Roger Stone with the iconic image of him doing like this, throwing up the peace signs coming out of court. They don't have that anymore. That's why you have people like Hillary Clinton coming out saying, well, we need to censor information and, they need to be prosecuted. They need to be treated like Russian agents. And she's trying to signal to the deep state, which she was a major part of setting up that Stay Behind network, that no, we need to force censorship, because if we don't force censorship, we're going to lose. Because now the news media is reacting to the narratives that are created on social media. They don't have a choice but to react to them. And the Haitian cat and dog eating thing was the bellwether for it. First of all, we smart. Screw whether they were eating cats or dogs or not, even though there's ample evidence that they was taking geese, eating cats and dogs. It's part of their culture. Other Haitians have said it's a part of their culture, but that don't matter. What really matters is that the people in that town spoke up. They put it out on the mainstream media. I mean, they put it out on social media, and the mainstream media had to fight that narrative. And so when they have to fight narratives like that, they can't push their agenda because they're too busy playing defense, and they've always been on offense. For example, here's another example. Obama came out. Obama chastised black men we're talking crazy. They would have covered for Obama if they could, but all the men on social media stumping, going gorilla crazy about it, meant that now they have to defend Obama. So they can't push forward his narrative. They got to defend what's coming back at him. And so that's why they want to censor, because they're constantly on defense. And that's why you see this acceleration in the news cycle, because they have to change the narrative for their people who are listening and watching. So the liberal person who turns on the news, that turns on CNN, right? They hearing the rumbling. They go to the barbershop, they go to the hairdresser, they go to their stylist, they go to the restaurant, they go wherever they go. And they're just having conversation with friends at work, and people like, man, you saw how black people reacted to Obama said? Yeah, man, that was crazy. I don't know. And somebody's like, man, I don't know if he should have said that. And then now they're having a conversation. They need reinforcement. And so the news is so busy reinforcing the brainwashing on them, they can't brainwash anybody else. They don't have the ability to, because they're trying to hold the line of the people that they got. That's why they come out with the Nazi stuff. I don't know who, like where in the playbook this Nazi crap come from. And maybe, I don't even know what makes Carvel think that's going to work. Remember, they did it to the brother, Mark Robinson. Remember, Mark Robinson? They came out and said he was on a porno website saying that he was a black Nazi. Remember? Jim Carvel, just telling you who did it. He a black Nazi, and that he looked at girls when he was in high school in the girls' locker room. Like nobody ever tried to climb up and look through the window of the girls' locker room when they was in high school. But he a black Nazi. And I said that was the dumbest shit I ever heard. Don't no black man running around calling himself a black Nazi. And everybody else was like, who? We don't believe none of that. Don't no black man say he a black Nazi. Nobody says that. So I don't even know. Maybe it's code word for you to hit somebody and kill them, or I don't know. Maybe it's code word for the deep state to say, okay, well, this guy's a Nazi, and we're gonna unleash these tools from the government on them because Nazis are a threat. But in that case, they went and did Operation Paperclip and brought all the damn Nazis into America and did what they did. I don't know. It don't make no damn sense. I'm sorry. It just makes no sense to me. If I could sit down with Jim Carvey, I'll say, Jim, what's this dumbass Nazi shit you keep saying? You got to do better than that. That's dumb. That's just dumb. But nonetheless, Exciting times in America is what we're looking at. You know what I'm saying? Exciting times, dangerous times. And when you look at the polls, the thing that kills me, they did a poll where they showed Hillary Clinton being up by 9%. Joe Biden being, I call him Joe Obama. Joe Biden being up by 7% at this time. And Kamala Harris being up by 1% overall in the polls. And they were saying, you know, Hillary lost at 9%. Joe won at 7%. They ratted on themselves and talked about how they stole the election. And then they said Kamala's at 1. Kamala needs to be at this place. Listen, Kamala is negative in the polling. You know what I'm saying? Kamala is negative in the polling, unlike anything you've ever seen. I mean, she is. And I don't think they can stuff enough ballots. I don't think they can close down enough precincts. I don't think they can have enough illegals to vote. There's not enough to help this woman. There just is not enough to help this woman. Sorry. I don't know how you're going to do it. But if they steal this election, what you know they're going to try and do, and they enthrone that lady in the White House, boy, prepare for all kind of hell to break loose. Trump wins between the time of the election and inauguration. Prepare for all hell to break loose. Either way it go, prepare for all hell to break loose. One is going to be temporary hell. One is going to be permanent hell on the nation. Permanent hell. I'm interested in seeing. Everybody want to talk about the nation of America's under judgment? You about to find out right now. America's being judged by the Lord. I don't agree with you because I know him pretty well, and what I'm seeing is him around here just smacking people. Governor Whitney, go on there and make fun of me. Go. And she goes and does the dumbest stuff ever. Turn the tide in Michigan. All the Catholic voters pissed off at her. Every liberal Catholic pissed off at her. But, hey, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how it works out. I see him palm slapping. I'm talking about pimp slapping people. Going all the way back behind his back on the backside of the throne and then swinging around it. Pow! You know what I'm saying? This ain't the breath of his nostril, just him slapping people with his right hand. Everywhere. All over the damn place. We'll see though. We shall see. Hurricane 5. Hurricane's supposed to be a category 5. Drops down. Tornadoes though. Pinpoint drops of tornadoes. Bing, 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 bing. So I don't know what to tell you, man. All I can say is, may the Lord have his way. If we want to rock this bad boy to his core, I think it should be rocked to his core. And that's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Because this nation is messed up. I wish he would do something about Moloch, though. When you look, I said this over and over and over again. The one thing that they hang on to is the sacrificing of children in this nation. And that's the one thing that he hates the most, is the sacrificing of children. That's the one thing these people keep on elevating as the linchpin of all their campaigns. It's the one thing that pisses him off the most. Something needs to be done about that. Yeah, something needs to be done about that. That's an existential threat to the people of this nation in the spirit realm. I'm sorry. And it's the one thing that we saw. I think it was like 6 kids that they had aborted at the Democratic National Convention outside their little abortion ban. I think they whacked 6 children. And that's the thing that got me about my friends who are Christians that are Democrats. When I showed them that, I said, hold on, bro. You go to church every Sunday? Yeah, I go to church, man. And you vote Democrat? Yeah, because Donald Trump and them wicked and evil. How you go to church? And I put the phone to the face like that. How you go to church and then you say you're going to vote for them when they're aborting babies at their convention? Well, I ain't know about that. Now you know. How you gonna vote for him? And they get to talking. I said, I'll tell you what, this is what you do. You go to church? Yeah, I go. Go home, go in your closet. Don't go in back. Go in your closet, close the door, sit on the floor, and talk to the Lord. And ask the Lord himself if he liked the fact that you supporting people who want whack babies. All that's the premise, main premise of their damn policy is killing babies. Ain't none of them gonna go do it. And I don't know one that did it. I told her to do it. Because they know what they're gonna hear. You know what I'm saying? And these are all men. The craziest thing, that men who done had their kids, they didn't abort their kids. The wives didn't abort their kids. They struggle to take care of their kids, put them through some of the best schools there is, private schools, some of the best colleges there are, Harvards and Notre Dames and Princeton's and Texas, University of Texas, and you ain't killing not one of their children. It's not in line with their thoughts, their beliefs at all, what they vote for. So, I don't know what to say. All I know is we about to see some sports out here in these streets like we see in New Orleans. You're going to see some sports, boy. We're about to see some sports. All right. I'm done with this live stream. They consume the souls. Of course they consume the souls. It's an innocent soul. The most power you can get from an innocent soul. More importantly, it really ain't about that. It's about trying to hurt the heart of the Lord and provoke his wrath and his anger. Because that's what those spirits want. People don't understand. The children of God, the sons and daughters of God, our job is to manifest his glory to the principalities and powers that turned against him. It's through us that we're supposed to show his glory, his wisdom, his strength, and his knowledge to them. Like, hey, son, go over there and smack the piss out of that one right there. He was talking about me. That's what we supposed to do. It's scriptural. Right there. We go read it. That's what he wants us to do. But we don't do it. Instead, we sit there and side with them things and get in trouble. All right. Let me get to work. Also, I'm about to bring back Buying Trouble. Now, for those of you who never heard Buying Trouble, I'm going to drop like a very long story. It's probably 8 hours long, 12 hours long. It's a spiritual warfare story. I use an AI voice for the story. Don't freak out by the voice. Listen to the story. If you never heard it, listen to the damn story. I'm telling you, listen to the story from beginning to end. If you want to listen now, you can find it. Just go on my channel and type in Buying Trouble. Listen to the story. It's probably the most profound true story I've ever told. Before I started doing politics, I only focused on true, scary, paranormal, supernatural encounters. The reason why I stopped is because nobody really wants true stuff. They want what they want. And true stuff, the truth takes so long to come back around to where people see it. And in context of what I was in, it's a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes so long for people to come around to make the lap with the lies that are out there that, I mean, it don't make no sense to do it. Like, there's truths that I told in the last field I was in 10 years ago that people are taking bite-sized nuggets of it and putting it out and monetizing it. Just little bitty bites of it. And it's just, it don't make no sense. So, what about the sex allegations about Waltz? Well, I mean, we know Waltz, Tampon Tim. We know something wrong with Waltz. We said that. When you look in Waltz's eyes, you can see something wrong with him. I said that from the first time he popped up on the scene. I said, man, look at that eyes. There's some eyes on that man. Something wrong with that man. Something was seriously wrong with him. You could see it in his eyes. You saw it in his eyes doing a debate. Something was wrong with that dude. The something that's wrong, to be clear, is what you're talking about. I mean, that was obvious. That's the same thing with Kamala's husband. Go look at his eyeballs. You can read a man's eyes and see what's there. Just go look. They all got the same crazy eyeballs. In fact, watch this. Go look at any of the illegal aliens. What do you call it? Their photos what do you call it? The photo that you take when you've been caught by the police? What's the official name for the photo you take when you mugshot? Go look at their mugshot. Anyone that was accused of SA or raping a child, go look at their eyes. Put a photo of Tim Walz up next to it. Look at his eyes. It's the same damn demons in the eyes. So you're going to see it right then and there. I mean, it's clear as day. You're going to see it. It's there. Just like when you look at Kamala's eyes, you see nothing. There ain't nothing there because she's just a damn empty vessel. Go look at her eyeballs. Like, just pull up a picture of Kamala, look at eyes. You be like, man, ain't nothing in there because she's just a vessel. Nothing there. None of the stuff is hard, bro. It's all right there in front of you. You dig? Somebody said panda eyes. You know what I'm saying? It's all right there for you. So, let's get the rolling. So I'm gonna do the next set of Buying Trouble's gonna come Wednesday. I'm gonna shut down for Wednesday and focus on that and have it out for Wednesday night. So if you haven't listened to it, and here's what I would appreciate, guys. I would appreciate if y'all share this so it can get the views that it should get. I mean, because traditionally, those type of things don't get the views that they should get. But it's something that will benefit everybody. So I'd appreciate it. If I'm not mistaken, the first part is 9 hours long because we used to stream it from midnight to 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. in the morning. And that's how long the first part was. The entirety of the story probably will end up being 24 hours long when it's all said and done. It's just, it wasn't the time to do it. I was told to stop, so I stopped. And that was that. But those who listen to it will tell you they learn more about spiritual warfare from that story than they've learned from going to church their whole life. More. And quite frankly, it's just jam-packed with stuff that you need to know. All right. Peace out.